What is up, everyone? We're back with another commentary today, but it's a bit different. So we're actually doing a multiplayer race at Spa in Assetto Corsa. So this is quite a popular server that does like GT2, GT3 races, and we're driving the 458 GT2. So immediately in the first turn, as with all multiplayer races, there's a lot of carnage, but I thought I should just swing to the sides just to avoid whatever's going on, because in the middle it's always too much carnage going on. But it's a good decision because we actually gained 3 spots and we're up to 8th position now. So we started at 11th, we're out to 8th, and the carnage continues as it's 3 vehicles, but the 2 Mercedes drivers decided they didn't like each other very much, so they decided to just give me a spot. So we managed to get up to 6th in just the first couple of turns. So a bit of a moment there, but we managed to recover. So honestly, I'm not very fast in this game. You know, I'm still trying to learn sim racing as a whole. But I'll just tell you that on average, I think in this track, my timing for this car is about 2:19.5. So that's just for context wise. I think the fastest was 2:19.2. So not the fastest driver definitely, but yeah, we'll see. So we're actually surrounded by pretty fast drivers. After that I went to check the best lap timings. Yeah, but you know, as with all multiplayer races, a lot of incidents do occur. So we'll see what happens. So right now we're trying to hunt down this M3, which is doing a fairly good job of keeping pace, but you know, you can feel that within just the first lap we're gaining a little bit already. So just into his slipstream, and the leading cars right now are 2 Z4s and another 458. Their lead is quite healthy. Ran a bit wide on that part. You can see that they are quite a bit ahead of us, but through that last corner we managed to actually close up the gap to the M3, and I was initially a bit strange like why he didn't brake so early, but ended up I think he did brake a bit too late, so we managed to overtake him and we are stuck behind the MP4. And this McLaren is actually doing quite a good job in defending, and later on, yeah, you see what it does. But yeah, I thought I might have more speed here, but I did a small bump and then decided to just back off. Again, I think what I'm trying to learn as much as possible is to do like clean racing, because you know, so often just being a bit too aggressive ruins the race for everyone, right? Not just yourself, but for other players as well. So I'm just trying to practice to be as clean as possible, and overtake based on other people's mistakes instead of like just aggressively bumping them. But yeah, you can see in the last few turns I actually lose quite a bit of time behind the McLaren. And again, I'm no pro, so to be honest, I'm still trying to learn the track and learn the correct braking points and how to turn into certain turns. Yeah, so you're not gonna see very good driving, but yeah, it was an enjoyable time, I'll just say. Yeah, I think playing multiplayer against real people, at least there's a sense of unpredictability, and makes it much more enjoyable. Yeah, but we managed to catch up with the McLaren a little bit because of some mistakes on their part, and I was thinking, okay, I have quite a lot of speed here, so we took the inside, cut him off a little bit, and I managed to take 4th position now. Again, we can see that the 3 leaders are actually quite a bit ahead. So I initially thought that because I did have quite a bit more pace than the McLaren, that he wouldn't be too much of a challenge. But in the end, the McLaren proved to be quite fast as well, and there were a few mistakes made on my part, so he managed to keep up quite well. And we're into the third lap. It was always hard going uphill, you know, that portion. I think of the cars available in this server, the Ferrari and the Z4, as far as I can tell, those are the two cars that can take that uphill bit flat out. But when I tried the SLS and the M3, I didn't try the McLaren, but I felt that you couldn't take it flat out. If not, you would probably just go out of the track limits. Yeah, but you can see that I'm kind of slow because the competition in the back is kind of catching up. We have three other drivers closing in, and I'm actually losing time against the race leaders, whereas they seem very evenly matched because they've been cluttered together since the start of the race. But yeah, so yeah, I've been playing this server quite a bit actually, because it's normally quite full, so like I don't like to join like two empty servers, because you know it's not that much fun racing against a few people. And I think secondly is that Spa is such a fantastic track, in my opinion, and yeah, generally it's quite full. The skill of drivers is quite good, so it just makes it much more fun to play. Coming to the end of lap 3, we actually managed to pull up quite a gap, and I look in front and I see, my goodness, the 3 race leaders actually had quite a bit of a moment there, and the Ferrari was the biggest loser in that situation. So we actually managed to gain the place, and now we're up to 3rd place. Yeah, I think this moment also was like I did brake a bit to make sure I don't collide with the Z4s, especially since, you know, they've been doing such a great job since the start of the race. It would be a shame to just end their race like this. Had to brake a bit more and go off track to avoid the collision. Yeah, but I know that their pace is much stronger than myself. After that I went to check the best lap times that they posted, so they were about 2:17 and a half. So I was easily like 1.5 seconds behind them pace wise. As you can see, the McLaren's still very, very close, right behind us, and he's catching up. He's right on my tail. And we go down this corner, and I can see that McLaren is probably going to take me soon. But then what happens is, if you can see on the mini-map, he has a moment and we see him flying off to the sunset. So yeah, it's a shame, because I think if he put on the pressure on me for a few more laps, it might, you know, even within this lap, I think it might have caught me. Here we see a few people from the last lap just casually staying in the middle of the track. This guy's quite alright, you know, they give way. So actually in this server they actually have the blue flag system, so you can actually see when that there are cars ahead of you or a lap ahead of you, and to give way. So it does help, but you know, I mean, most people kind of just disregard that. So we had a bit of a moment, but I managed to catch up. But you can see that the gap actually is kind of growing between us, which is a bit sad, but a bit expected as well. So I kind of actually prefer the Ferrari over the BMW. I think just because we had more practice with it. Yeah, but I'm seeing after quite a number of races that actually the Z4 does perform really well under the hands of like good drivers, and oftentimes it's between these two cars lah. The leaders will probably be between these two cars. But I've also seen some drivers do incredible work with the SLS AMG GT3, and it's really staggering because they get like 216, and I can't get anywhere below 221 with the same car, so I don't know how they manage to drive it. But yeah, so I see right in the rear mirror that actually the Ferrari from earlier, the group of 3 of them, is actually slowly catching up, and I might not be driving as well in these last few laps because I can see that I'm kind of losing time as well for each lap. So I'm more of like a 220 now actually for each lap. And I think if you guys have any advice or critiques, right, of my driving, I mean, feel free to leave in the comments because I'm always trying to improve, and it would be great to hear like the feedback from you guys. But yeah, coming into the end of lap 5, I believe, and gaps extending between the race leaders and myself, but still at 3rd position, so that's up from 11th to 3rd is quite good. If you're curious, I guess, because nothing much happens during the race at this point, I'm just losing time. Yeah, so I actually got the G29, logitech G29 steering wheel earlier this year, and I've been using it for the past few months. So still quite new to sim racing, but I think practice makes perfect, right? So we've been trying to learn a bit more, and trying to better ourselves through more practice. I generally don't look at videos online on how to take like certain tracks. Like I try to figure them out by myself, which I'm not so sure if it's the best idea also, because might as well leverage on others' experience. But I found trying to figure out tracks by myself to be quite fun and enjoyable, and but yeah, you can see in the rear view that the 458 is really close now. So yeah, he's pace wise, I think he's a 1.5 seconds ahead of me, so it's only a matter of time, honestly. I didn't want to defend too hard also because I didn't want to lead to any collisions that would derail both of our races. But yeah, so I can tell he has a bit of a moment there. So as I saw him having a moment, I have a moment myself. So what could have been an opportunity to extend the lead was kind of messed up, just because I was paying so much attention to him in the rear view. And he manages to catch up, and I can see, and I'm not gonna fight it because he's so much faster. Yeah, at this point I just resign myself to fate, kind of. And now we're down to the last lap, and I'm thinking it's probably quite difficult to catch him. And I mean, the 2 front markers, the leaders of the race, that I mean, there's no need to think about that. So yeah, at this point actually I think I was just trying to look at his racing line and trying to learn, because he was quite a bit faster than myself. So I was like, you know what, I'll just take the chance to learn from him. And we approach. Yeah, this turn is like as far as I can see when I compare timings wise, I know my middle sector, which is the most technical part because of all the turns, is probably my weakest part, especially this turn. Like I still haven't figured out how to take it properly yet. Like some people take it really tightly, some people go wide, but yeah, and I messed up there. I just lost grip, but thank goodness the server doesn't actually have damage, so if not the race would have been over there. But we lost a lot of time, and what's worse is the two drivers behind position 5 and 6 are actually kind of catching up a little bit. So if I make another mistake, yeah, I think I can kiss the 4th position goodbye. But yeah, we can see at the back the minimap. I stare at the minimap a lot, by the way. One of the drivers just not sure what happened there, but he's gone. And the 4-5 in front is just way quicker on this last lap, so there's no way for me to catch him. Coming down to the last few corners, and I look ahead and I see that he has missed the turn entirely, went all the way, so we managed to overtake him just at the last turn and clinch the 3rd position. Overall, quite a fun and enjoyable race. I think there were a few overtakes and a few moments there, especially at the start. You know, I give a bump to the winner to congratulate him. And yeah, so you know, if you like this content and you feel that we can do more of these multiplayer race videos, do let me know, and you know, leave a sub, and we'll see you next time. Bye.